Back for more Bay Sunday. It's a growing problem, especially with the onslaught of social media. We're talking about bullying, a major problem, especially when it creeps in to the workplace. Nearly 30% have either experienced bullying or they're being bullied right now. Our next guest's new book, The Bully's Trap, dives right in and delivers solutions on how to make the workplace bully-free. Let's say hi to Andrew Foss. How are you?
Excellent, thanks.
Good to have you on board.
Thank you.
Out of Toronto.
Out of Toronto.
There we go. Well, is it a big problem in the workplace, bullying?
Well, you mentioned 30%, and that's an understated number. And the reason it's understated is people are afraid to come for a variety of reasons to come forward.
How come?
Well, fear of retaliation, the stigma attached to being bullied or abused is not dissimilar to sexual abuse or domestic abuse,
right.
And people are just not.
And there's an embarrassing factor. Maybe it's
totally.
You never know where
you're
it's
perceived to be weak, and people are told, well, this is part of the working world.
Yeah.
And suck it up. And if you can't take it,
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Well, why do bullies bully?
Well, why do bullies bully is because they can.
Yeah.
And Oscar Wilde said, it's the prisons that need the reformation, not the prisoners. And what I've found in talking to well over 600 people is that bullying occurs because from the top it is allowed, condoned, and in many cases expected. And to survive in an organization, and if you're going to move up in an organization, you have to appear strong.
Right.
And I'm a great believer in being a tough manager, and setting high expectations. But if you draw the line and toughness becomes meanness, and the intent is to destroy you, then it crosses that line. And again, it usually starts at the top. 70% of bullying is boss to subordinate.
Right.
And people follow the boss's lead.
Sure.
So if they see the boss do it, they will do it. And
it
you
just
end up
dominoes down.
It dominoes down, and you end up having a whole group of bullied bullies. Yeah. And it even goes home.
And tell us why you wrote the book. What's your view?
Well,
were you bullied?
At the end of my career, I was bullied.
Yeah.
And I blew the whistle on a corrupt executive.
Yeah.
And for an 18-month period, I went through sheer hell. I lost over 30 pounds. I had a serious case of shingles, laid up for 6 months. And but I was able to resolve it. And what I found is that most people who are targeted, it ends badly for them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end after the bullying stops or after they leave.
There's a stigma.
Well, not just a stigma, but it takes so much out of you.
Yeah. And
you keep living it and reliving it and reliving it. And I went through that. And I thought to myself, well, I'm in somewhat of a unique position in so much that I was a bully. Early in my career, I was called out for being a bully, age 26.
Sure.
And it influenced the way I managed and lead my life from then on, in terms of creating environments where people feel safe, psychologically safe. And so being a bully, having worked to create these kind of environments, I knew more than the average person does relative to what it is and, more importantly, the impacts it has.
We don't have a lot of time, but can you give me 15 seconds?
Sure.
If someone's being bullied, what do they do?
Well, my first piece of advice is go to someone you can trust.
Yeah.
And ideally, that's someone in the organization.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in many organizations, there is no one in the organization that can provide them with the kind of advice. It should be HR. In 80% of the cases, HR is part of the problem versus part of the solution. But go talk to somebody about it so you can strategize.
Get it on record. Get it on record.
And then that's the second piece of advice. Once you know what's happening to you, record everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Emails, whatever. Okay, well, it's a fascinating book, and there's solutions in there as well.
There are solutions in there as well.
All right, Andrew, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you
We
so
really
much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Enjoy your stay in the city. I know you flew out. For more information about the Bullies Trap and to get your free ebook, you can log on to andrewfoss.com. That's Andrew Foss, Faas.com. Back for more Bay Sunday right after the break. Stay there, folks.